here and give you guys some tips and tricks and whatnot. I don't know how long I'll be live. Probably not too long because my phone's on like 20%. But I just want to come on here. You guys can obviously play this and any of my other lives that you guys want to view. Just go on YouTube, go in the playlist section. I have it public for you guys. It's labeled sorry, I saw a text coming. It's labeled what's it called? Manifestation Live. Manifestation Lives, excuse me, I don't know why I was thinking about that for so long, but so you can go check that out. But let's hop in, let's give you guys a couple tips, alright? A couple tips and tricks. First things first, give you a tip on how to speed up the process of manifestation, okay? So this is a very powerful tip. Yo, thank you for making a video on my request. Yo, nah, absolutely. I saw your I saw that question emerge, and I'm like, you know what? This is a great opportunity for me to go ahead and share my views on tarot and whatnot. You guys are gonna love that video, I think. Very passionate video. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first tip, you guys, is speeding up the process of manifestation. How can you speed it up? What's a great way to speed it up? The answer may not be what you think. So everybody, when you talk about speeding up the process, everybody's like, okay, improve your self-concept, the generic things, right? Improve your self-concept, assume that you get your manifestation instantly by a specific date, etc. Well, how about this? How about we change it up a bit? How about instead of placing a time frame on it, instead of, you know, getting ourselves into this position of like, we have to have a completely 100% stable self-concept, otherwise we won't get what we want, excuse me, right? How about we toss all that out the window, right? It's very crucial you work on your self-concept, make no mistake. Why don't we toss that out for a second? How about this? How about instead to experiencing our manifestations in the absolute most loving way right now in this present moment, right now, in the now. How about that? How about we speed up the process by assuming that we're open to experiencing our manifestations right now in the most easiest, effortless, and loving ways. How about that instead of putting a time frame on it and all that stuff? I feel like that is much more powerful. I've seen better results from that as opposed to putting time frames on it. So I've dabbled in the assumption of everything I desire manifests instantly, and it did not feel natural to me. It felt forced. It felt needy. It felt like desperate energy. But the moment I shifted it, I just suggested to myself, you know what, God? I'm open to experiencing all of my desires right now in the most beautiful, loving ways. And that's when I started noticing that it affected every area of my life. Because think about it, you're assuming, you're creating the thought process, the belief that all of your desires you're open to experiencing right now in this present moment, easily, effortlessly, and in the most loving way. And as a result, that really has been flowing into every area of my life with different desires. So that's tip number one. If you want to speed up the process, start assuming that you are open to all of your desires being experienced by you right now in the most beautiful, loving, and easy and effortless ways, okay? So that's something that you could do. Now, okay, so another thing you could do to effectively improve your self-concept, this doesn't get talked about enough. Everybody's always like, okay, work on your self-concept, yada, yada, yada. Here's tip number 2. Does moods affect our affirmations? They can. They can. I'm not saying that they will, but they can. Okay, so tip number 2. Everybody always talks about improving your self-concept, yada, 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 but nobody ever really cracks down on really what you could do specifically to improve your self-concept. You ever notice that? So tip number 2 is, if you want to improve your self-concept in a very effective way, go within and properly identify exactly who you want to be, self-concept wise, and to the best of your ability, your core foundational limiting beliefs or limiting beliefs as a whole. Because when you're aware of what your limiting beliefs are, when you're aware of who you want to be, now you have a set track. You have a vision. So now you're going to be able to create affirmations that specifically relate to who you want to be and specifically tailor employing the opposite of your limiting beliefs. And you can persist in those thoughts, in those visual acts, and boom, you're going to speed up the process of improving your self-concept a lot more smoother and effectively, in my opinion, than just listening to generic sleep tapes and, you know, having people tell you, oh, just affirm, I am chosen, I am chosen, I am chosen. No, you've taken the time to properly identify who you want to be and what your limiting beliefs are. You've created proper affirmations from you, okay, directly related to who you want to be and what your limiting beliefs are. Sounds good, don't it? I've tested this out my reality. I've had my clients test it out for their reality. Fast results. Fast results. I'm telling you, fast results. No more than a couple of weeks at most. Literally. In some rare cases, a couple months, but is it bad if you change SB affirmations a lot? Is he going to be confused? In my opinion, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not exactly desirable, in my opinion. It's not exactly the most beneficial thing. Because think about it like this, boss up affirmations. If you have those right affirmations for you, why would you want to switch them up? The only reason why, in my opinion, you'd be switching them up is because you haven't yet landed in those 100% right for you affirmations that employ the desire fulfilled. What do you think about forcibly affirming? Not beneficial at all, in my opinion. Not acting with force and coming from force, to me, automatically signifies a lack of trust, a lack of faith. You're coming from fear. You feel the need to force yourself to affirm. For what reason? Because you feel if you don't, you won't get results? Because someone told you to do so? You know what I'm saying? Like this fear-mongering type of ideal. Because there are some coaches out there that will preach to you guys, oh, you have to affirm constantly 100%, otherwise you won't get results. Fear-mongering. You don't need to affirm all day long. You don't need to force yourself to affirm. In fact, the best times to affirm, in my opinion, is to affirm when inspired. Affirm when you feel called to do so. Affirm when you're feeling good. Affirm when you're in that loving, feel-good space. I guess that ties them together. Affirm when you think of the subject. How about affirming inside, like talking inside? Yeah, I mean, that's a powerful way to go about it. You don't have to always affirm out loud. Most of the time, I'm affirming in my mind. But every once in a while, I'll affirm out loud. Like, you know what I did earlier? This is actually one of my friends, one of my other manifestation friends, Share Bear. She's huge on TikTok. She's got like 60,000 followers. She's a really good friend of mine. Her name's Sherry. And she actually gave me a tip, you know, on something that I could do right before my live. And what she had me do is she had me take some time to get relaxed and connect with my divine source. So that's what I did, literally. Just moments before my live on TikTok, about an hour ago, I got myself relaxed. I placed my hands over my heart. I closed my eyes. I took a couple deep breaths. And what I did is I said out loud to myself in a whisper, divine intelligence, divine source. Allow myself to speak the exact right words in this live. Bestow upon me the right words to say in this live. Allow everybody to connect with what I'm saying. Allow myself to connect with what they're saying. And as a result, I swear to God, when I entered that live, I gotta actually reach out to Sherry and let her know that this was absolutely phenomenal. Swear to God, when I was in that live, I wasn't really stuttering. You know, because sometimes my mind races and I tend to stutter and jamble together certain words. But I wasn't stuttering. Everything was smooth. People were digging like what I was saying. I was digging what they were saying. And I ended up getting like 4 new clients from that live. Like I had 4 people reach out to me for sessions afterwards, and it was absolutely fantastic. Which reminds me, if you guys want to have a session with me, reach out to me on Instagram, Live From The End with Joey. I'm offering this deal that I'll probably end up posting in the community tab. I'm doing a 45-minute call, as I'm sure you guys know, for $80. And upon purchase of that 45-minute call, you're going to get 5-day consecutive unlimited access to me email style coaching, either on Instagram, text style if you're in the States, or actual email for free. Normally I charge $100 for that. Normally the 45-minute call is $100. So you're saving yourself $120. All right? And then I'm also doing 3-day email coaching for $45. Normally it's $70, $25 off, just so you could test the waters with me as a coach. But act now, of course, while sales last. All right? So the third tip that I have for you guys, and third and final tip actually, Before I hop up out of here, I gotta go do my meditation. The third and final tip that I have for you guys is this, okay? So, the first tip, just to clarify, was how to speed up the process, okay? And you guys go rewind and check that out. The second tip, okay, was... Sorry if that lagged out. I got a 10% message on my phone. The second tip was an easy and effective way to improve your self-concept. Now, what's the third tip that I have for you guys? Your one best tip to suppress negative thoughts. Okay, you know what? I guess we're going all out. Here's the tip, is don't suppress the negative thoughts. Think about it. Why would you suppress the negative thought? When you suppress something, you're literally suppressing it. What do we know about the human condition? When we suppress something, that shit always comes up to the surface at some point. So the third tip that I have for you guys, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but your question just sparked interest. The third tip that I have for you guys, okay, instead of suppressing the feelings, suppressing the thoughts, instead of ignoring them, sit with them and accept them. You guys may be wondering, but wait, what? Most of this community teaches me to ignore it. Well, here's the thing. When you ignore something, you're still focused on it, subconsciously. Therefore, you're automatically focusing on it, keeping it alive in your reality, most likely, because what you focus on expands and grows. Okay, you see this brush right here, right? If I have this brush in my hand, and I'm talking to you guys, I'm ignoring that it's in my hand, okay? Just because I'm ignoring the fact that there's a brush in my hand. And it's the same thing with your negative thoughts and feelings. Okay, so sit with it, release, accept. So, what do I mean by that? I mean, when you're in the moment, you're experiencing that crippling thought, that negative thought. Rather than fight against it, rather than just affirm over it, take the added step of sitting with it, express it, become aware of it, with the intention that by sitting with it, you're going to release and clear it up, and then immediately redirect the focus toward positive thoughts. I teach this to my clients. I practice this. It's one of the most powerfulest ways I've found to really clear out the negative energy, the repressed stuff, to the point where you don't experience it anymore. Energy is never destroyed, it's only transferred. I also let my clients this know because it's the truth. Energy is never destroyed, it's only transferred. So what if they're super strong? I have someone, it doesn't matter. If you practice what I'm saying, it's going to benefit you. How you're doing. I either flip them or fight against them. Don't do that. Cosmos, guys, why are you doing that? Why would you fight against it? When you fight against something, it's going to fight back. No, this isn't a more effective way. Don't do that. You're wondering why it's been months and months and you guys are still having these negative thoughts because you're not clearing out the energy. Sit with the feeling, that energy goes out. Affirm in for your desires, that energy comes back in. Cosmos, it's like years in my case. Well, now you know why. You've been fighting it for so long. You've just been firming over it for so long. You've just been suppressing it. You haven't cleared out the energy. Okay? You sit with the feeling, sit with the thought. Allow yourself to express it. If you need to get a cry out, then get the cry out. If you need to get some anger out, then get the anger out. Just don't hurt yourself or anybody else. Can I revise suspended license for a friend? You can revise anything you want. Period. Sit with the feeling. That energy goes out. Affirm in for your self-concept of what you want. Now that energy that went out by you sitting with it, it comes back in as confidence. Okay? Comes back in as power. Alright? So replay this live, take advantage of these tips, write them down. Feel free to reach out to me for that session, guys. I would love to work with you guys. I would love to help you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay loved.